What is up, everybody? Your boy is back with another episode of Bullish's Top Stocks to Watch for the Week and Why. Before we jump into it, always a couple things. Hey, these are only my opinions. Do your own due diligence. This is equal parts entertainment and education, but I'm not a financial advisor. Number two, hey, give us a sub here on YouTube. Help me feel good about myself. Helps with the algorithms and shit, but also follow real underscore bullish wherever you get your social media poison. Pretty active on Twitter and StockTwit. So let's go, let's talk, let's engage. Let's agree and let's disagree, but let's share some opinions. All right. Anyways, jumping into it, I have four this week. I think one of them, I think you've seen me repeat it. Probably this is the third week, but this is AMD. And if you want to see the bull thesis for this, episode 25, I believe I talked about, hey, why recently I'm pretty bullish, especially for the past few weeks on AMD. But hey, yeah, like I said, this is the third week. So, but anyways, jumping into it, I think that they had a lot of really good showings. They have a lot of good tailwinds, but also don't have many headwinds coming up down the way. They just had a really nice keynote at Computex 2021, which was pretty cool. But also, hey, they got that $4 billion share buyback. Pegsu, she's a beast. But anyways, going into it at the month level, jumping into it, hey, like you know how I jump through things in three different time frames usually. Month, week, day. Look at it on multiple time horizons to just kind of get a feel for where the stock was, but also where it's heading. Green month so far, but we're only 7 days into the month. What I love about the month level is it had a really cool candle here, a hammer. What is this? A hammer candle at the bottom, and then the next month you saw we're opening green. We'll see how it is. There's been no real average one way or the other at the month level. It's kind of just if you look at RSI and MACD, it's still kind of going pretty straight. We won't go into that too much because I already talked about it at length already in the past two episodes, but also it's in a really clear channel still. Hey, even especially at the week level here, it found support, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, where a month ago where it needed to, and then you see the indicators coming back up, rounding up as well. And then for the past 3 months, past 3 weeks, we've been at a really good decline. You know me, I like to catch things right when they're going to cross the 10 EMA or pretty close to crossing the 10 EMA because this can act as really interesting resistance and support, right? But right now it busted it for the week so far. As of last week, it crossed it, and it hadn't done that for and since shit, it hadn't done that since fucking 2/8. So right where across that, like I said, hey, it can act as really strong resistance. You can't resist, you can't get past it. Hopefully now we use it as support. So yeah, really bullish chart overall. I liked it at the day level as well. It's at this interesting area, and you have a couple alerts set one way or the other. What it needed to do over the past 4 days, right? 5 days. It busted over this previous area of resistance here that I had marked at about 80 bucks, 80, let's say 81 bucks for some change. Let's say 80 bucks, 81 bucks, let's say that. But anyways, it crossed over it, busted over. Now it's holding it as support so far, but the charts still look good if you break into it a little bit closer. There's been really no average volume. So, I want to see some volume come in now that it's tested. So it busted this area and then it tested it. It tried to break out, tested it again, found support there, and then hopefully now we can kind of grow that new area. Like RSI is still looking pretty good. It's on the uptrend. MACD's on the uptrend. So far it's looking pretty good, but there's a few things that need to happen for that to stay that way. So anyways, first one's going to be AMD. The second one is going to be PayPal. So PayPal for me is one that I've watched a few times, but I think that it's an really interesting. Oh, sorry, that's Palantir. Ooh, I mean, I'm not mad at Palantir either. But anyways, PayPal is one that I've watched for a long time. What I liked about this is kind of similar to AMD. It got out of favor, right? Growth, high valuation growth specifically. This one has a high price earning ratio, but I think it's justified for the technology that PayPal brings, but also for the growth projected in fintech and PayPal specifically. PayPal's an industry leader, right? This was something that was founded by Elon Musk and Peter Thiel years ago to kind of start the revolution for fintech and financial tech. So it's one of the older ones. So it's growth, but it's like value growth to me. So it's a nice little area that I like to play in for sure. It was just over the past 4 months, going back to February, it's been just in a really bad downtrend. Honestly, but it was making it was at a all-time high of 309, right? And it just had to find some support. What I liked about it though, and what I was waiting for is like we saw with AMD with that hammer candle. I was waiting exactly for this to come out to kind of show that it wants to like start breaking out of this downtrend. I did see it last month for the end of May, so it made me want it entice to get back into it. But there's a lot of good tailwinds that and catalysts coming for PayPal as well. They have this super app that's kind of like it's going to be it's I think it's next quarter's catalyst, but basically it's going to be like a combination of a lot of different. You know how we have apps for X, Y, and Z. Well, PayPal wants to make itself one financial app that it can kind of control them all for Lord of the Rings, right? Well, to bind them, right? It looks more or less. But also there was really interesting Credit Suisse. I think that's how you say it. Outperformed price target rating of 315. So a lot of people are getting bullish ahead of this. I think like that's kind of the most recent price target increase. So a price target increase, though, has or decrease has a different time horizon, right? We're thinking about it maybe in days or weeks. These analysts are looking at it in terms of years sometimes. So just keep that in mind. That just because there's a price target increase of 315, right now we're at 263. It's a longer time horizon, right? That they're looking at. But anyways, I like a lot of things about this, but specifically, like all these catalysts were great for me. But I wanted to see what the chart was going to do. Again, looking at different time variations. I look at the month level. What I see is a green month so far, right? Coming out of a candle, I see a green month coming out of a hammer candle, which is good at the bottom, like I said, not at the top. You don't want to see this at the top like that. Slight decline to go up. But anyways, there's no average though. It's still running high it's over 70 right now. It's 77. So RSI corrections areas are 70 at the top, 30 at the bottom. Usually there's corrections, but an RSI can stay hot or can stay down for indefinitely, right? But when it starts going down, then we have some trouble. MACD is looking really good as well at the month level. At the week level, again, like I said, hey, I like to catch things as they're crossing this blue line. As you see, hey, before this was, it crosses the blue line here. That to me, that's the area of truth. If it's under it, I don't want to mess with it as much until it's making its headway. You see how it can act as resistance. So hey, right here, it's resisting this. It's resisting. Pops over, uses it as support, right? Tests it, and then it breaks it, right? But hell, now we're coming back up. I wouldn't have got back into it here just because the charts were going down as well. A little bit of decline, but still at the week level, it's still kind of flat. It found some area of support here at this line, but that's interesting to me. We got a nice little hammer here, area of correction and coming back up. So I want to see it come back up. Like I said, I think it's an interesting time to do that. But also as well, it broke this area of. I'm sorry, I'm going to clean up these lines. I've just been watching this thing forever. I love watching PayPal because it's so fun to me to watch. Anyways, at the day level as well, it's breaking out of a downtrend. It's trying to at least, but right here, the 256. So let's say, sorry, 259. So let's call it 260. Interesting area of support it needed to hold, as well as this bottom over here is a double bottom here at 233. So that would have been a really good area. I wanted to see it hold that. It did. So hey, I'm looking at it again. But also the RSI is coming up. MACD is kind of coming up as well. So I think that PayPal is going to be a really interesting one. I think it's going to be a really good one to kind of slow buy into. Like I said, value growth for me is the key. Growth for sure, but just not like any type of growth. I'm not going to go out and get Zoom, which I probably should. But I want to get growth companies like tech, but that have really good value. And if they don't have good value now, like price earning ratio, they're in a strong sector, right? But all this is predicated on what the Qs are going to do. Honestly, if you don't know what QQQ is, it's basically an ETF that mimics the Nasdaq. And what is interesting about this, growth is easy when you're in the middle, but what the Qs are, so where Nasdaq is at right now is at an area, an inflection point, because at the month level, hey, you can really see, hey, this is a hammer. And like I said, this shit is not good at the top. There's two bad things here. There's a hammer at the top, and also it's a previous area of resistance. 339 has been an area of resistance for dating back since February, right? So it's stalled out here before. We'll see what it's going to do this time, but so far it's not looking the best if you look at it at the month level because this hammer at an area of resistance. But also just kind of keep in mind like, hey, it's in an uptrend so far at the month level. Hey, we're going to see where it continues to go, but hey, so far you have a green month, right? So that's always good. If you look at the week level, another great thing is it's a green level as well. You have three green weeks of increasing price action. Again, hey, it's worrying to me because at the week level, a couple good things here. Hey, we're crossing this 10 EMA, but here's another hammer, right? So far, right? So that's not a great thing to me at the top. Again, at an area of inflection or resistance previously. Hopefully it busts over here, but so far it has not shown it wanted to. But it's wave theory, so it has to happen in its own time. What I like though is there's been no selling volume other than 510, that was the last week of selling volume. It was really heavy over average, but still like RSI is kind of going flat. MACD's going flat. So really, I want to see what the Qs are going to do to kind of know if I need to get in tech more or I need to not get in tech more. But anyways, it needed to do a couple things over the past few days. It needed to hold this 315, which it definitely did, which is awesome. It can make a new all time high if it busts this area, like I said, of 337 ish. So we'll see as it goes closer to that what it wants to do. So far, it's looking pretty good though. The Q's looking good, even though there's a couple bad things at the month and week level. They're still in an uptrend. The last day was a green day too. Coming off of a sell day for I think a Thursday, but still we're gonna see what it wants to do, and I'm just gonna set alert here, right? It's super easy to keep track of things, but you don't have to keep track of things. Hey, if it breaks at or above, let me know. I want to know if it breaks that, and so it kind of alerts me to hey, let's look at my tech stocks a little bit more. But RSI is poking up, MACD is coming up, so hey, the Qs are looking good as well so far in the more immediate time frame. But also, it's going to be predicated on what, and I think that it's gonna like everyone knows what meme stocks are, right? So I didn't play this go around. I'm stupid. I didn't play it. I played the one in January, February. It was amazing for me. You just got to know when to get out. But this is a little bit different from the last run though for AMC and all the high short interest. And one thing I was looking at, and like you said, hey, I've been looking at this for a while since the last one. One thing I needed to, and this is an easy way that I could have done to set an alert. Hey, I could have set an alert anytime it broke over this area, which was the previous area of the highest area for in 21st 121, I guess that is. Yeah. Sorry, 1-1. I should have had an alert to say, hey, alert me when it busts out of here because I would have known that it was about to take off. I just didn't. Stupid me. But anyways, I think that AMC is an interesting one because this kind of tells the way that the short term, I guess, sentiment for the market's going to go. When meme stocks are popping, the market usually tanks. Unfortunately, all that money it's a zero sum game. If you have to put it in AMC, you have to take it from somewhere else. You'll take it from your checking or your savings. You're taking it from you're pulling out your winners, maybe that you were ahead on. Sometimes in tech because a lot of this money was in tech over the past year and a half. But AMC is an interesting one because this and Bed Bath and Beyond and GameStop to a certain extent, they kind of tell if people are going to move into this area. But anyways, at the month level, hey, you get what you get. This is a definitely, you can say this is a short squeeze or a gamma squeeze or whatever you want, or you can say that I guess they have a bull thesis for them, which I don't think so, or that this is this valuation is justified, which I don't think it is, or that AMC is going to come back and do NFT to the moon. I don't know. But anyways, basically what it is people buying into it. Dumb Money has a really interesting, so the latest Dumb Money episode, which is linked in my show below, linked in my show homepage below, they have a really interesting theory on what's happening and like how to spot the next one. But anyways, I like to use AMC this time as an indicator of where the market is going. Like I said, hey, at the month level, nothing to like here, in my opinion. At the week level, very little like here. No, but it is what it is. And people that believe in it believe in it. I love it for the ride. I don't necessarily believe that AMC is like the next. I don't know what the next AMC would be, but it's interesting. It popped off here. We saw it cool down because there was a few different offerings, that brought it down. The CEO is not a dumb guy. He's using this to his advantage. So it doesn't even make sense to look over different time horizons. But, at the day level, hey, what you're seeing though, and so far it's not so bad because you have this huge green candle. It's from the day level, it's so far extended from this. And what you see is exuberance, right? You see people like getting carried away and taking this great, which is great for them, but it's usually it tries to find an area of normality, but you do see this 10 EMA really, all these indicators really shooting up so far, at least the 10 and the 25 shooting up super far. So I would see it for it to correct a little bit. Like I said, hey, I have an alert here. If it goes by 30, if it goes below 35, it's interesting to me to actually take a look at again. But I think what you're going to see here is, and I put it here for a reason because this was the start of the exuberance, and you see this gap here. Not to say gaps always close, but these little things are gaps, right? And these are areas that I use to say, hey, if it closes below this, because charts usually like to close gaps, look at into again for the next rise up. So I want it below here. That's the only way I would get into it. If it falls below 35 bucks to fill this gap, it's going to be interesting to gap fill on the downside, try to catch it and ride it again. That's how I'm playing, but I'm using it more as an indicator. But still, hey, this RSI, like I said, hey, this area right here, 70 is an area of correction. It's correcting at the day level and it's still correcting. But what's interesting is MACD is showing the opposite. So it's still there's momentum there, but the more immediate indicator to me is pointing down. These are pointing the opposite ways, which are interesting. But this is an interesting stock. You do have 2 hard days of selling volume, but also it's because the company released a fuckload of shares. To kind of, they need money. They need to raise money. They need all these investors to kind of buy on board. They're giving popcorn to people and shit like that. Which, hey, it's super smart at the company level, but also, hey, people that are stuck at 73 now, hey, they can come back, for sure. But we'll see how that one goes. Good luck to all that. But I use these as an indicator, right? There's a site called highshortinterest.com, and basically how I like to play it is you see AMC running, you see Bed Bath and Beyond running. I go to highshortinterest.com to see what hasn't run yet that have a high short interest, and then see if I can cherry pick some of that list that haven't ran yet that have a high short interest. Because if they're hitting AMC, they're hitting Bed Bath and Beyond. They're probably hitting these other ones as well. But that's how I like to play it. But like I said, though, I'm gonna keep this quick. Again, it's AMD, PayPal. Those are really two strong ones. Really good tailwinds. Also good catalysts coming down into the near and long term future for this year. But it's all predicated to me this week on the Qs. The Qs are an interesting level of support resistance. So we're going to see what happens at the month and the week level. They're not looking the best, but at the day level, they're looking pretty good. But also the month, the week, and the day level so far have been green. We'll see how it acts at that area of resistance, but I'm kind of watching that. AMC, I'm watching it more to kind of see what the market is going. If people are jumping in these in AMC and all the meme stocks and high short interest, then the market's probably going to be selling off again. But if not, then hey, we might have an interesting week of good gains. I think a lot of indicators are in a good place. But anyways, I appreciate the support. Y'all have a great week. Good luck.